Hey guys, what's happening? So this morning we got the official teaser for Fantastic Four First Steps. And I gotta tell you, I'm so hyped for this movie. Like, it's got me doing MCU videos again. So that alone should tell you something right there. Cause man, I've been waiting on a live action Galactus since longer than some of y'all been alive. But for a quick moment, I just want to share some of my thoughts after seeing this trailer and even double down on some of the stuff I said back in July of 2024 when we got the RDJ Doom announcement at Comic-Con, amongst other things. But to start this off, first I gotta say, Ben Grimm looks incredible. He has the comic accurate proportions, the animations are convincing, and I just imagine everything that was learned over the years from getting Hulk right, as well as Korg from the Thor films, all of that's come together to give Ben Grimm the live action presentation that he deserves. And also, when we get this quick look at Ben looking through the store window, where he's looking at the footage of him and Reed before the incident, where Reed was like, best pilot in the world, and Ben said best looking he means. And just seeing this reminds me of Fantastic Four issue 296, which we talked about back when I covered the What If story, where Ben Grimm got the Venom symbiote as well as the Lizard, which was really dark. But at the time, that What If story spun out of this issue, when we saw Ben Grimm return to the crash site where him, Johnny, Sue, and Reed arrived when they returned to Earth after the incident. Because at the time, he felt like everyone's life had changed for the better except for his own. And I still think that this whole thing was only made worse when after Reed admitted how he failed to realize how strong the cosmic rays actually were, only to then have Sue's knee-jerk reaction to be like Ben's turning into something. And not only have that be the way that they come up with Ben's name, because Ben was like, that's what Sue called me, that's what I'll go with. But right after that, Reed had the nerve to say, and I'll call myself Mr. Fantastic. And it's just like, dude, you just admitted this was your fault. And you see how your man's is feeling over here. And you gonna go with Mr. Fantastic? Man, he wild for that one. But from the look of things, it seems like we're going to get a version of us seeing Ben dealing with this whole look, which is something we've had in the past films. But to me, with him having the more comic accurate look, that really looks like the Thing and does a great job with the eyes showing emotion, so we can still see the performance of Evan Ross Bachrach, the actor who's playing Ben. And it's like you take that and you add to it the idea of this not being a traditional origin film. And to me, it just seems like that leaves a lot more room for character-driven storytelling, which is definitely the way to go for a Fantastic Four film. And really, just thinking about this teaser and how it was revealed, there was one moment where the host was like, turn to your neighbor and tell him it's clobbering time. And I ain't gonna front, I was watching it like, what, we at church? But no, there was something about that moment in the countdown that just had me like, what are we doing? But yeah, everything in this trailer looked great, because we even see a moment that looks like it takes place right after their ship was hit by the cosmic rays, where Sue can't control her powers, and she's just phasing back and forth between being visible and invisible, which I imagine is going to be a flashback, but it also has me thinking there's a lot of potential here for like a horror moment, especially if Johnny just bursts into flames, or even a Ben Grimm jump scare, whether they do that here on the ship or after they get back. However they do it, I think this iconic origin flashback is going to be really good, because it looks like they're just focusing on the emotion rather than making the whole movie about the origin. But aside from this, we see Sue in action for a little bit, and I like how they have the translucent light being shown when she uses her powers and a little bit of the rainbow effect, because it kind of makes you think of how light would behave if you were to actually see Sue's powers in action. Like, it wouldn't only just be white and clear. So I think this film's going to be a step up in that department. And when it comes to Johnny, it's the camera action that did it for me. Because in shots like this where you got the action camera following him, it almost feels like, man, Johnny's getting both the Spider-Man camera work with these tight camera angles, as well as the Superman wide angle shots, which I'll admit made me kind of nervous when we saw Johnny free falling from above the earth. Because I was just watching like, wait, what's going on? Wait, playing back on, buddy. Because I mean, that just might be a reference to Fantastic Four issue 6, when Johnny was like, oh no, my flame burned out because there's no oxygen in space. So Reed had to reach out and pull him back in while he was free falling. And if that's the case, I just imagine when it comes to the point where this Fantastic Four makes their way to the main Marvel universe, this may lead to them getting a power boost, where Johnny won't have to worry about that anymore. But who knows if that was what was even going on in the trailer. We'll just have to wait and see. Or this could have been like the time when Johnny tried to smoke Doom out of his castle, only for Doom to throw on his rocket-powered flying harness and juke Johnny to the point where it was too much strain for him to try to keep up. And I mean, fortunately, he was able to use enough of his flame to break his fall and catch a branch on the way down, but I kinda got a feeling that's not what we're gonna see in the movie. And as far as what looks to be the scenes where Galactus is arriving on Earth, there's a shot here where we get a really good look at the retro-futuristic city, as a bunch of these buildings just have the sun eclipsed by the shadow of Galactus. And it's actually Galactus this time. Man. But I like how in both of these shots he looks to be a different size based on the distance of his shadow that was cast before, and this look at the back of his head, with him being closer to the Statue of Liberty for a bit of scale, so I imagine we'll see him at various sizes throughout this film, but also I look forward to getting a deeper explanation to this Galactus' background and how they're going to tie in his origin, either in this film or in future films, because I want to know if he's always been in this universe, or if he's from a previous cosmos. What are they changing? What are they kind of adapting? I want to know. And also this has me thinking, in this trailer we didn't get a look at the Silver Surfer, who from what I understand is supposed to be Shala Bal, who is the love interest of Norrin Radd, but I imagine they're saving her for either the second trailer, the third trailer, or the final trailer, who knows. And the last thing I want to touch on here is the idea of these characters traveling from their universe into the main Marvel universe, either by the end of this film or Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars, because again, I think it was a brilliant idea to start out the Fantastic Four on their own Earth. It's the perfect concept because they actually get to do the whole retro futuristic 60s thing. But if this leads to us getting a situation where the Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom, where he ends up coming from this same Earth, I'm still holding on to hope that this is done in a way where a handful of others make their way over too. And I mean, I won't even say a handful. And man, who am I kidding? Because I'm about to go off on the deep end again. Because I really just want the MCU to use this opportunity to bring in the next Black Panther. And what better place for him to come from than the home world of the Fantastic Four? And I'm sure I probably sound like a broken record saying it here again. And I'm not even saying that this T'Challa has to be set up for Avengers Doomsday or even Secret Wars. And I mean, Secret Wars would be nice. That would be really nice. And to be clear, by no means am I saying that everything's gotta happen in Fantastic Four First Steps, because this film has enough going on already. All I'm saying is it would be nice if they left the door open. And this could even look like what we got in Ultimate End from Brian Michael Bendis, which would make it more of a Secret Wars thing down the line. But if we're talking about characters traveling from one world to the next, whether that be Reed Richards' doing or their version of Doctor Doom's doing, this opens up the possibility where the overlap that is caused can create instances where two realities are existing in the same place. And I mean, in Ultimate End, this was definitely because of Doom and the whole thing with the creation of Battle World, but with however the Fantastic Four travel from their universe to the main Marvel universe, whether it be an incursion or an attempt to save their world from Galactus, whichever method that's used to bring over the Fantastic Four, I would like to see that bring over a Black Panther from their world, specifically, as well. And I know the chances of this happening are slim, and I think it all depends on where the MCU Doctor Doom lands in this as well, because if he's also from their world, I'd really like to see how he made it out too. But yeah, just based on this teaser, it really feels like a Fantastic Four story through and through. But yeah, I really just wanted to check in, share my first impressions, and spark up a conversation in the comments. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments on this teaser. I want to hear your sweatiest theories. Feel free to express your thoughts. Because I'll also say, part of me is thinking on one hand that Fantastic Four First Steps is going to be a movie that's simple, that introduces the general audience to the Fantastic Four. We're going to have Galactus coming to their Earth, but outside of that, it might not get too crazy. Because for the most part, that's where my expectations are leaning. But at the same time, for months now, there's been so much conversation about Franklin Richards being involved, and perhaps even Valeria Richards as well, who are both the kids of Sue and Reed Richards. And it's stuff like that that just has my mind thinking like, okay, well maybe this might get crazy. Because this film is getting us ready for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. And it's those things that have me thinking like, okay, how much are they gonna do before they draw the line? So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. In our last talk, I shared more thoughts on what I think this could play into after Captain America, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four come out. But for this one, I just wanted to stick to the new teaser so we can have that conversation here. But if you want to jump into the other talk about all the MCU films coming out this year, I got that link in the description too. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.